Okay, thank you very much. We are here with Joe and Parker. Joe speaks Spanish very well. He wants to speak in Spanish. I will let him speak in the language that he wants. It doesn't matter.
Solamente para mi madre, cuando ella ver la
That's good.
podcast o el
Perfecto.
video en línea, solamente quiero que ella pueda ver esta parte en específico para que decir que yo, los años de estudiando español no fue para nada. Ahora
Perfecto.
estoy hablando con alguien en Buenos Aires. Muchas gracias por hablando con nosotros, and we are very excited to be on.
You're you both are in Tampa. That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And how are things going with Ian? It's okay with the hurricane, or
Yeah,
that's so good.
We were really lucky. We were really lucky. I think that all of the news said that it was going to hit us dead on. We stayed. We, kind of prepared for the worst, but then we, didn't have much more than a week of rain.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You're lucky. So, well, I would like to know what do you do, guys? I mean, I am meeting startups every day and just listening stories about them, and I want to listen about you. What do you do, and get inspired about what you are building.
Yeah.
I tried your product.
Great. And what do you think?
It's great. I took some notes, the same notes I have here in my in my notepad.
Yeah.
I took
en sus
it there.
cuadernos.
En mi cuaderno, yeah.
Yeah. Pues somos construyendo la best place to write things down. So, la cosa que queremos pensar a ti, or the thing that we ask people is, do you have the best place to write things down? And en serio, la cosa es que notebooks are great. And we totally agree that notebooks serve like a great purpose for note taking because they're quick, they're easy, but there are also inherent complications with notebooks. As a matter of fact, like I started writing things down in notebooks myself.
Yeah, totally. This is my reminder. And
yeah.
Tomorrow I will have another one here, and
and you can't search it. If you don't have your notebook, then you can't really write things down. If you're not seated, it's hard to like kind of, write like up front. But so what we've said and what people have even said to us is that Twos is intended to be a digital piece of paper. It is effectively a completely customizable, quick, easy, and organized place to write things down with like increased technological advancements that just make it, 10 times better. We are trying to build the best place to write things down. So in order to accomplish that, Parker started 7 years ago while he was studying at Vanderbilt. And, it's been through 3 full rebuilds, but between reminders, to-dos, lists,
yeah,
and also
Parker has a lot of experience working in very known companies like Google, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a good engineer there. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I've been lucky enough to work at some very impressive companies that have taught me a lot. And also just, learning outside of it, building my own, practicing. It's just something that I fell in love with. So I continue to work and get better at it each day.
Yeah, because I think this is something that I see in a lot of startups. It's difficult to build it because you may be working in a very good company, maybe earning good money. I don't know in your case, but and then you decide I will quit and build my startup. Why do you do? I mean, both of you, because you both had your jobs before, no?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce your startup? Sorry, is TwoSap.
Yeah, just Twos. Twos, like that.
Twos. Okay, Twos.
Two, but
okay.
Twos.
Twos, but you can go to twosap.com or stopforgettingthings.com. But yeah, no, Parker's story about why he quit was amazing because we were roommates at the time, and I actually was the first person to tell him that he was crazy to leave like all the money on the table that he was. But in the same vein, he told me very confidently, Parker, what'd you tell me?
It's basically, it was just not what I was meant to be doing. Like I felt like I had this, purpose in my life. And if I weren't to spend more time on it, it wouldn't have come into the world. So it was basically like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And even while I was at Google, yes, I was making great money. I was learning great things, working for a great company, but
it was not aligned with your purpose.
Exactly. It just felt like it wasn't what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah, I find out that at the Colony that a lot of engineers, because we help engineers find a job. I mean, we help Argentinian engineers in most of the cases find a job in the US. And we find that people is looking for their purpose. I mean, if they find a startup that they are not aligned with the vision of the founder, they may not want to work there, for example. Or if yes, they may want to work there, even if they earn less money than in another job offer, for example. So
no, absolutely.
No, I mean, and I think that that's why Parker and I get along so well. We actually call ourselves the yin and yang. Like, it's actually kind of coincidental that I always am wearing white and he's always wearing black.
Yeah.
But
and how long did you? I mean, how long did choose have in the market?
So Parker had to quit his job at Google before we were like really able to market it. So they had labeled it as a direct competitor to Keep. So they have a note-taking product called Google Keep. Yeah. And so we weren't exactly able to let the world know about it. So Parker was building it kind of like on the side in mornings and evenings up until March of last year. So March of 2021 is when we kind of really got out there.
Okay, well, you touch a point which is very, very interesting, because Google has Keep, for example, that may not be that good. I don't know. But why, for example, do you think? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are building something or want to build something, but they say, I don't know why. I will never be able to build, I don't know, something to compete with Netflix, because Netflix is the biggest and that's it. So I keep on working at my job.
Right.
You're competing with Google at some point, or with, I don't know, a lot of other apps that have something related to you. Yeah.
No, people, I'll let Parker answer the question, but the thing that I love the most about what we're doing is how many people do come over from Google Keep, from Apple Notes, from Todoist, from Notion, and they emphasize that there's nothing like Twos. But yeah, no, it's been a really amazing journey. And I think that it really all started with Parker's initial vision to build a half private, half social, just network of information. And so I'll let him tell you a little bit about like kind of how that all came to light.
Okay.
Yeah. And Joe's spot on. It was really this longer term vision. We're not just building a notes app. It's actually much more all in one than just notes. Keep is mainly a note-taking app. It's like a very simple note-taking app, but we incorporate to-dos, calendar integrations, reminders. So it's much more than that. But the long-term vision is this half private, half social platform that allows people to write things down privately and then share those things for other people to discover, learn from, connect over. And that's something that we do not see any competitors do. Like Notion is a great, life organizer in a way.
Yeah.
But there's not really that discovery portion. And that's what I sort of identified as a problem with social networks like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. These are all like purely public platforms. Yeah. Where like sometimes you just need a place to write things down, and you need a place to like unload your mind in privately. Like you need to, keep a task list, whatever it may be.
Yeah, totally. For example, in my case, I will tell a story. I need to take some notes, for example, to do some follow-up from my emails. I have some emails and I want to write a task and have a reminder for that. And I want somewhere in my computer or wherever to remind me to send that email back, for example. So yes, we are always.
But then the beauty of it is that while you're capturing all of those personal private to-dos that you need to be able to, act upon, you also can write down ideas or jokes or quotes or, Netflix recommendations. And the point is that like by also having a social side of the platform, you can discover other people's valuable information that they are sharing. So the groundbreaking technology behind Twos is that each individual piece of information is broken up into its own entity, which means that you can write down follow up with Joe and make it a to-do right next to Joe speaks fluent Spanish. And so you could effectively share the Joe speaks fluent Spanish, and then Joe recommends, Okinola in Tampa. So like there's just this all in one place to write down anything that you want to remember and then share pieces of that information easier and quicker than ever before.
That's awesome. You're gonna replace my brain, but well, who knows? Who knows? You never know. And who's your client, for example, or your user? Is Twos free or okay? That's interesting because I want to dig into that. It's free right now.
100% free.
Okay, why it's free?
Parker?
We're really trying to compete with like Apple Notes, which is free. Keep is another free product. Paper, obviously you need to buy it, but to some extent it's almost free. We just don't want to limit people from writing things down. We just feel like writing is so crucial to our everyday lives that we don't want to put a barrier in front of people. We want them to have this amazing tool that they can get a lot of value from in their daily lives.
Yeah.
And then we figure out ways to make money outside of that, which is we have some features that aren't necessary to get, the full, or basically to get the full value out of Twos. Like all of that is free. But then there's things like bookmark colors, alerts, smaller things that we charge $2 for. You can also earn coins. We have this gamified onboarding system that allows you to earn coins and get free features. And then the long-term vision is we say in our privacy policy that you own your data. Like Facebook and Twitter, they're basically stealing people's data. And
so while those are also free apps, we all like are becoming more and more aware of the fact that they're like not actually free, like they're just stealing people's data and selling it to businesses.
Our vision is to actually empower people to make money off of their valuable information and assets. We consider information to be an asset. So if you had the 10 best restaurants in Buenos Aires, then you could sell that for $1, $5, $10. And if people have basically said that it is quality information, then somebody may be willing to pay for that, and you'd be able to actually make money.
10 best guitar shops, 10 best bands with Argentinian background.
Yes, because not every note that we take is like a shitty note. There are some great notes. I remember once when I traveled to Europe, and a friend of mine shared me like all the notes to the places to go, things to do, and that stuff. Okay.
So he can basically list that on Twos World is what we call it. It's just this open feed of people's recommendations and ideas and things. So he could list that and make some money off of it.
And Parker, you love talking about tips, like how it's not even going to be limited to like, a paywall necessarily. We just believe that like peer-to-peer transactions and like me being able to support my friends for sharing valuable information, whether it be like by actively, permitting access to it or just tipping them. Like, would you not want to give your friend $10 for having shared this phenomenal list of recommendations that kind of like completely changed your perception of wherever you're visiting? That's what we believe in heavily. Information is an asset. All you have to do is take it from up here and put it on paper, and we effectively are doing that digitally.
Okay. So now let me put a stop there, and I am not going to keep on digging in on your product. I assume because I watch it, I tried by myself a little bit, and it looks very good. You have a great product. You have a great idea, great product, great team. You're two. with good background, and a business model which is free right now. I mean, you told me about the different revenue streams, but that gonna come on the future, I guess. So you receive funding, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay, I want to talk about that a little bit because there are a lot of startups that some of them build something that since day one they can sell it, and that's good. And some others like me, I have built a platform like Trello on the past, which was free, and I was not able to monetize, but at the same time I didn't raise enough money to keep on working. So I was not able to succeed at that moment. So you raised money. How much? Can you say it? Or
Yeah, no, we raised $1.4 million. You know, we did that really based on, we did it from a local firm in Tampa. So a lot of what we are lucky to have been exposed to early on is a very, you know, tight-knit community that believes in us and our vision very highly. But we've also been bootstrapping for the past 17 months with no salaries, no pay. You know, Parker is our technical co-founder. And so, you know, wherever he needs help in, you know, kind of getting it out to the most people, I fill in. And that's, as you know, that's exactly why we're here now, is because we want to tell people about twos. We want to explain the benefits of writing things down to people, but we still run it like a very frugal startup. You know, I literally just got done having a bowl of ramen noodles because, you know, we have a very large vision and we want to take it very slowly. But the reason that we raised that much money is because we know the impact that it can make on the world. And we know that the word twos can become synonymous with like, I need to write that down, or I want to remember that. And so effectively speaking, we're very, very lucky to have started the relationships with the partners that we got recently.
And is it hard to raise money? I mean, that amount of money, or not for you, at least?
Yes, it's very hard. I hope that this is okay to say, but effectively
everything is okay.
Great. What I heard recently is that raising money is a lot like dating, and effectively, you know, if you approach a girl and say like, hey, I love you, I want to marry you, I want to have sex with you, you know, she's going to kind of be like, whoa, you know, like, hey, buddy, you know,
I agree.
We just met.
Yeah.
But if you take it really slow, if you act like, you know, you're, you know, kind of already above the game, like you got to be very cordial, but you got to be calculated. You have to figure out when you're going to reply, when you're going to ignore them. There's like a whole tango that you have to do. And we started early. We started early having conversations with the guy who eventually led our round over a year ago. And what we did is we created a newsletter where we would update everybody with our progress and users and messaging and technology. And just every month, you know, it would just kind of keep going up until we finally were like, it's time. And so then when we reached back out and said, hey, we're ready, they were like, okay, we'll do it.
Okay. So it's a lot of job. It's a lot of patience, as you said, because it's very like tactical moves that you have done. And when you, I mean, it's like you choose one path, the path of raising money. So I guess that there's gonna be like a second round, maybe, I don't know when, or a third round in the future. Is that right? Is that like the path that you just choose, or you may start bootstrapping from now on, for example?
Parker, I've kind of talked a lot. I think that, you know, you're the other half of the coin here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we'll have to eventually raise again. Mainly, we really just raised this money to have enough for us to keep going and to like figure a lot of things out. We still don't have like product market fit. We still don't know, you know, exactly what the messaging is. So we raise this money to experiment more, to figure a lot of things out on our own. And then we'll eventually, you know, once we really prove what we're doing to a larger audience than we currently have, we believe that we'll be able to raise money to really start to grow the company, to hire more engineers, more designers, marketers, to really start expanding the company. But for now, you know, we're still we're a very early stage startup where we have a lot to figure out.
And our goal is definitely profitability, but in the same vein, equity is like, you know, a startup's number one asset. And so if people are willing to, you know, exchange compensation for a piece of the pie, and it's kind of on our terms, then we believe that there is a lot of runway, you know, that we can build on.
Okay, and how do you get feedback from users, for example? How do you know because I don't know how many users do you have, but if you have more than 20 users, you have like 20 different feedbacks. If you have 2,000, it's 2,000 people talking to you and giving feedback and saying, I want this feature with this or that. So how do you get feedback from them?
Yeah, no, you're exactly correct. That is what we deal with a lot of. Really, we have this Discord community that we're really happy about. We call it Happy Tuesday. But it's just basically a community for people to share feedback, ask questions, but also just connect over a love of writing things down and remembering things. So we get a lot of input from that. A lot of people will send us direct feedback through the app. And, you know, we maintain our roadmap and really listen to our users.
How big is your roadmap?
It's big.
How big is your backlog?
It's big.
It's big.
We have a lot.
Yeah, you have to deal with it. I mean,
the beauty of it is, as founders, we are the gatekeepers. So we effectively take everybody's advice and we put it all either into Trello or Twos, you know, where Parker has a list called Joe's Ideas that recently had its 2-year anniversary. And it's got thousands of things, I'm sure. And we use that term literally because the things you write down in Twos are called things. But the beauty of it is that we just are making so based on our vision to help millions of people write, remember, and share more things, we will just prioritize specific features, or, you know, and like bugs, for example, always get, you know, top priority. But when someone says, I want to put in, you know, Excel spreadsheets, or, you know, I want Markdown, we just kind of, you know, say, okay, we'll put that on the roadmap. We appreciate your feedback. And then we actually let other users vote on the roadmap, so we know like what things people want the most effectively.
Okay. Imagine yourself the day that you are, for example, break even, that you earn a lot of money. Yeah, that day, I don't know, that you have a team, I don't know, 10, 15 engineers, some product people. It's like a little startup, not that big, but not that small. How do you imagine at that time, too? I mean, how big, how many users in how many countries, or only in the US? Only
no. I mean,
the West Coast, and that's it, because you have like 200 million users or people in the US, or 300, I guess.
We're already international. We are in probably 15 countries, maybe more, Parker?
I would say more than that. And along the lines of what you were asking of how we get feedback, we talk to our users a lot. I have a lot of like one-on-one conversations with them, and I'm always talking to someone like from Turkey or India or the UK,
Spain.
Yeah, Spain, Argentina. I've spoken to someone there. But yeah, I would say we're probably sitting at like 1 million users at that point. Daily actives, like people using it every single day.
Yeah, you're following like the Trello path, I guess, right?
Trello, Slack,
Trello was very, very, very popular.
Yeah.
It was very big, and they had a lot of investment, but they were not break even, I guess, and it was very popular. That at the point that that Jira came and bought them.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you told me your story, and I it seems very familiar to Trello. You said Slack.
Slack, a lot of these SaaS products, Snapchat, Tinder, like a lot of them have this early stage growth that they just kind of do growth hacking, and they listen to users and they make sure that the feedback is, all positive and moving in the right direction. We're really proud to say that we have over 100 5-star ratings on the App Store with a 4.9 average.
Mm-hmm.
And we have over 130 personal testimonials from people who emphasize that the simple yet powerful nature of Twos is unlike anything that they've ever used before. So we know that we're building something that has value to people, and we're just not immediately concerned with how to like nickel and dime them. We want to create value, and then we want to figure it out, later on.
Okay, that's great. So well, I guess I will finish the podcast here. I would like to ask you some more questions after we finish that I can't show them to the people because I'm more private. I would like to share some things, but and you have to leave. You have to leave like in 10 minutes. Is that right?
I have about 10 more minutes. Yeah.
10 more minutes.
Take as long as you need.
I'm so sorry, people. I will stop the podcast here. Thank you very much for joining us
Before
at the Colony,
you stop,
and hope you enjoy this story of Twos and start using Twos. I mean, I tried by myself, and I will stop using this notebook today.
No, that's amazing. And Juan, thank you again so much for having us. We are so happy that you felt the empowerment or inspiration to reach out to us. We love interacting with, interesting people such as yourself. And we really do believe in the power of Twos. So twosApp.com, Twos on Android, iPhone, and on web. So it's an app and a website. It syncs all of your things. And yeah, we're so happy that you had us on, and thank you so much for sharing Twos with the people.
That's great, awesome, and it's better than Google Keep.
Thank you.